right. So yesterday I'm at Publix and Lutz, shopping, just minding my own business. And I'm checking out, and I get my groceries all bagged up, and I'm about to walk out of the store. Mm-hmm. Now, when you walk out in the area where it's like where the shopping carts are, right before you get outside, you know, it's kind of like that little area right there. What is Publix famous for having right there?
Oh, their scales.
Their scales.
Oh, yeah, the scales.
They always have the scales there, okay? I look up, and again, there's a girl that's probably 30 years old with a fully packed suitcase.
Ooh.
Weighing her suitcase?
Who is weighing her suitcase.
Genius.
All right, hold on. Who's weighing her suitcase up on the scale. Has not bought anything. Never goes into the store. Never goes into the full store. Just in that area, okay?
Yep.
Walks in, throws her suitcase up on the scale, then takes it off and proceeds to leave. And she's actually parked right next to me, which is funny. And I see her just throw her suitcase back in the trunk and leave. And that's all she did.
Did you go, was it under 50 pounds?
Well, I didn't say anything to her because I was in shock. I thought that was the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life, that you would just bring your suitcase to Publix to weigh it. Now, you're saying genius. Now, you're telling me that you would bring your suitcase.
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't?
I wouldn't, because I have my own, scale thing at home where, it hooks on and you hold it up.
It's fancy.
And you hold it up and it tells you the weight.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't do that, but if someone walked in and was like, they were doing, but that is actually a genius idea.
Dude, it's $200 if your bag is over 50 pounds.
Right.
I know, but I'm just not bringing my luggage to Publix.
How else are you going to weigh it if you're 30 years old and you don't have a scale and you're on your way to the airport?
She needed to know, because if she gets to the airport,
she's not going to have $200.
She's not gonna have time to take stuff out, make sure is the proper weight. I think it's a pretty good idea.
All right, so
I don't know if Publix wants people bringing their
that's what I'm saying.
in.
I don't think they want that either. So I put this on my Instagram yesterday. You can check it out, The Real JRJ. And I just said, just watched a woman bring her suitcase into Publix to weigh it and then left. I said, weird, question mark. 25% of the people said yes. 75% of the people said no.
I'm with
It's not weird. I thought that was so weird.
This is like if you go on a road trip and you're like, man, there is not a rest stop. So you pull into a McDonald's and just go to the bathroom and not buy anything and come out and leave.
We all do that.
Everybody's done. It's kind of the same idea if you think about it.
But dude, you're bringing your suitcase to Publix. I'm still shocked by that. And she just it was heavy. It looked heavy because she threw it up on the scale and then jerked it back off the scale.
She's like, dang it, it's over 50.
Yeah, I'm out of here. I got to go take my boots out or whatever.
Yeah, but when you get to the airport and all of a sudden they're especially if you're running late and they're like, sorry, $200. That's a lot. That's probably more than the flight itself.
So, Lana, my question to you is, would you do this?
If I didn't have any other,
if you didn't have a scale at your house.
So what I've done though is I've stepped on like a scale and then hold my suitcase
and then subtract your weight,
subtract and whatever.
That's a good idea too.
But that's not even good. I love the Publix idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in. I'm in on this.
So maybe I'm the weird one. But I want to know if anybody has ever done this. Has anybody ever done that? And if you were the 30-year-old girl that did it yesterday, please call me because I got it.
She's on a plane, man. She's on vacation.
I know. I got to think, go through her head a little bit right now. But if anybody has ever done this, 800-992-1099, 800-992-1099, you have gone to Publix and used the scale for something other than weighing yourself. That's what I want to know. Awesome. Right now. So we got Brittany on the phone. Brittany, talk to me. What do you think about this?
So I actually used to work at Publix, and you'd be surprised with how many people come in and actually do that.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
I am shocked by that.
The first time I saw it, I was like, what are you doing? But then, and I actually asked somebody, I'm like, what are you doing? And they're exactly what you guys said. They don't have to pay extra, so.
I love it.
So
it's a great idea.
It's not uncommon. Okay, I appreciate you calling. You have a great day.
That's great.
Thanks, you too.
All right, Kenzie's on the phone. Kenzie, what do you think about this?
So I actually work at a Publix in Madeira Beach on the beach. And it's crazy how many times you see people come in with suitcases.
Really?
So it's a thing.
You're the second person that has worked at Publix that has said this. I can't believe this.
Yeah, it happens so often, and you wouldn't believe it. It's crazy.
Dude, now, is it obviously not encouraged to do this, right? But does the store manager have a problem with it?
No, they never say anything.
Okay.
Well, they're probably in and out so quick.
Yeah, boom, right on there. Are we under 50? Boom, I'm out.
Some of them do shop around with their suitcases.
Okay.
What?
That's hilarious.
No.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh,
All
that's
right.
weird.
Well, thanks for calling. Have a great day.
Absolutely. Thank you. You guys
See
too.
ya. Okay, Alicia, what do you think about this?
I have so done this before. So when I heard him talking about it, I'm like, no, this definitely is not weird. I did this. I was 40 years old just a few years ago. I've never flown at this point, and my mom was flying out. So I wanted to make sure she was prepared, and I took her luggage inside of the Publix, stopped right on the curb, took it in, weighed it, and walked back out. I've given them plenty of my money over the years, so I felt compelled to do this.
That's right.
And
I'm
made
with you
sure
on that.
she was okay. But
All
since
right.
then, I have flown, and I bought myself one of those self-weighing luggage scales for home, and I did not do that the second time, but I
Okay.
did do this one.
But you have admitted that you have done this.
I did, and did not see a thing wrong with it.
Okay.
I've given them
I
lots
love
of my
it.
money over the years.
Apparently, you're not the only one. It's
You-
a very common thing.
Apparently, it's a common thing that we're learning
Yes.
today. All right. Well, thanks for calling.
Resourceful. It's called being resourceful.
Yes, it
Dan.
is. Very resourceful. You have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. So, Christy, do you still work at Publix?
Yes,
Okay. So, why should you not do this at Publix?
because people do exactly what you just said. They take their heavy bag and they sling it on the scales, and it throws off and messes up the calibration on those scales, and it takes a lot of money to get those fixed. And that company no longer is making those scales. So Publix has bought in all the parts and pieces that they can to fix it and repair it ourselves. But otherwise, they are discontinued and they don't make that scale anymore.
Okay. So, don't abuse the scales at Publix.
Yes.
All right. Gotcha. Well, I appreciate you calling, okay?
Yeah, thanks so much.
All right, bye-bye. That's so crazy. That's
Yeah.
crazy. I mean, obviously, I'm the weird one, okay? Because I thought that was strange, and apparently it's not. It happens all the
It's
time.
obviously a thing. A lot of people in the Bay Area are doing that.
All right. I just think it's so crazy that you just...
But you shouldn't be, as the last caller, because those scales, there's nobody to fix them anymore. So they have to, try to find somebody to do that. So
Yeah.
let's not abuse those
Do
scales.
what Lana does. She just stands on the scale at home and then subtracts her own weight.
It holds up the bag.
That's got to be accurate.
Not at all.
I love it. All right, this is interesting. A list came out of common skills that are not so common among Gen Zers. And boomers put this together to say, like, I'm shocked that these Gen Zers do not know how to do these common skills.
Yeah.
Okay. It's 2025. There's a lot of things that are different now. One was how to read a map and figure out directions without GPS.
That's a good one.
Kevin's good at that, by the way. Kevin, anytime he's like trying to show me something where an event is, he always pulls up the map and he can kind of like zoom in. I mean, it's on his phone, but he can zoom in without having to put the directions in. He's like, you're going to take this road and take this road. You know the area very, very well,
Well,
Kevin.
I've lived here my whole life.
Yeah.
I would hope I know how to go places.
Yeah, without a phone or Google
Yeah, right.
Maps.
How to address a piece of mail.
Oh, come on.
Not everybody knows how to do it, apparently. How to unclog a toilet using a plunger. Now, that's a life skill.
Yeah, you got to know how to do that.
At some point, you're going to need that.
Yes. It's gonna be very important.
How to tell time on a clock with hands.
They
Really?
teach that in elementary school because I
Well-
remember both my kids having to tell, they would bring homework home. Hey, what is this on the
Yeah.
clock face? And then we put a clock in our house with just the clock face, and then
Yeah.
we asked them to do it. Hey,
Yeah.
what time is it? And they had to tell the time that way. So
Well,
I know
yesterday-
they teach it in elementary school.
Well, yesterday, it was funny because I threw something to Jenna. She wanted a bottle of water. I go, here you go, catch, like that. And she dropped it. And I go, I've seen better hands on a clock. And I said that to her, and she goes, what? What does that mean?
Man.
What does that mean?
What does that mean? I go, oh, the hands of a clock, going around like that. I was like, all right, never mind you.
Well,
Digital clock.
I think it's all about having a clock in your house.
True.
I mean, because the kids learn it in school, they get tested on it, and then they never see a clock again.
They don't use it, right?
Yeah.
How to count correct change.
Oh, yeah.
That's a big one. I've seen younger cashiers struggle with that at
Yes,
times, even though
you know
it
what?
says that.
I've seen that, yeah.
How to type on an actual keyboard. I feel like they're pretty good at that. I mean, especially
Gotta be.
Well, I think a lot of it is just the phone.
Well, no, I get that, but they use computers.
Typing with their thumbs.
Yeah.
How to mend, close, and sew on buttons. I'm out on that. I'm not good at I never learned that.
I agree.
Sew?
So I never learned to sew. Did you learn to sew?
I can do buttons.
Okay.
And like sew a rip, but I'm not sewing like clothes and blankets and stuff.
Making a blanket.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
How to write a check.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
Not
sad.
everybody writes a check. I know how to write a check.
Not many people. You don't really need checks.
With Zelle and Venmo and all
You
that
don't
stuff
really
like that.
need 'em.
PayPal.
Yeah.
How to use a manual can opener.
Oh, that's funny.
That is.
What is this?
Gotta
great.
need it.
Here's something that's not taught in schools as much. I think some schools still do it, but how to write in cursive.
Yeah.
They teach them
I
like
never-
in schools. Yep.
I remember, the how to when learning to write cursive and having like the pages that had the lines on it with the
Yep.
dotted line in the middle of it.
Yeah.
You got to touch the top and the bottom and
That's
make sure you know how to do it. I remember that. So definitely know how to do cursive, and especially when I'm writing a check, I always write in cursive.
Yes.
Well, that's how you write your signatures. in
Exactly.
cursive.
You would hope so. Some of these kids maybe not be writing their
I guess
signatures,
not.
and that's interesting for sure. How to drive stick shift. Lana, you know how to drive a stick?
Absolutely, I
Good
did.
for
That was my
you.
first car.
Awesome.
Yeah.
How to read Roman numerals. I struggle with that sometimes, but I know the
still do.
basics.
The
Yeah.
Super Bowl has helped.
Yes.
A lot of people.
But even that is sometimes I'm like, which one are we on now? It's like that's tough.
How to do basic handyman skills like simple outlet replacements, changing a light fixture, or installing a shelf on the wall.
Yeah,
A light fixture?
kids are screwed.
I'm not sure I know how to do I don't really mess around with electricity, to be honest with you.
I could do it, but I'd rather call an electrician. I can do a ceiling fan though.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Good for you, Kevin.
Yay!
I know some stuff.
Some stuff right there. All right, there's a list that the boomers made that I think Gen Zers should know, and I think those are common skills. Would you agree with those?
I would absolutely agree with those. That's stuff that you need to know.
Those are things
Especially
you need to know.
the plunger one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Really need to know that
I'm
one.
sorry to tell you, kids, but at some point, there's going to be a situation that you are in that you are going to need to know how to use a plunger.
Yes.
That's